K6USY, W6BBS if you're not busy. Well, okay. W6BBS72 says hello from Course Gold. Hi, Judy. Hi, Mike.
Yep, Judy's in the other room finishing up last night's log. We got busy today. Good evening, Frank. Let's see. We walked up just at dusk, just as the sun was going down, and checked the battery just for fun, and it was 100%.
That's beautiful.
Victor, Bravo,
That's beautiful. And so that means the tanks are now full, and it carried the load and was able to do that. I was hoping it would handle charging in that lower well, so that's great. That's good news. We'll see where we're at in the morning. I got a couple things to report to you as well.
Okay. How was the sewage? How many roots were in the sewer?
Oh, I didn't stick around for that. I got them exposed and took off, and we had to take Jen's car to the shop. It's got something serious here. I think it's the fan is not coming on sometimes. But anyways, we took it in, and then they've got it all torn apart. And, oh, sorry, we can't finish it today. You're going to have to leave it for tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. So I've been dealing with that. But in the meantime, that little power supply or voltage, step-up voltage thing, I told you I get the cheap Chinese thing for $40. It'll take 0 to 60 volts input and increase that to 12 to 90 volts. And so I put that down there on the well, set it at 85 volts, and turned the power down, the speed knob down to about half of what it was. Went up to look the hill to look, and oh my God, it was pumping like crazy. I had to go down, turn it down some more. So when I got it settled in, I'm basically pulling just under 8 amps with the on the 48 volt batteries, and down the hole it's running at about 60 volts and 7 amps, three-phase AC. So that thing is working good, and the pump is working good, and it's all happy about that. Over.
No, good. I didn't know you bought that thing. I didn't know they had one like that.
Yeah, they've got, well, the company sells one for $200, but, well, no, theirs isn't for this. They sell an AC one to create 72 volts, but after my conversation with their last tech, he told me that, this thing, the pump runs its best at around 85 to 90 volts, and that's its most efficient spot, and he says you can put a full 90, in fact, he says you can pump it to 95. He says I wouldn't go 100 because that's kind of straining it, but so I decided to let it rest a little bit, gave it 85, and it's just running really good. And I also kind of redid some of the power system. I just was finishing that up a little bit ago in here. The 48 volt lines coming in are now choked, and then the 12 volt lines are choked. And then I added a couple of chokes on the back of the radio on its power cable and on the amp. I already had a couple on my amp, but I added a couple more. So I hope I've settled down my problems with RF on 2 meters. Over.
Yeah, well, again, it was very, very light. You might want to bring my 2-meter amp back when you come down the next time if you're done with it. I think we've done all we need, and I'm sure that was the same as yours. Yours was working, and they're probably both okay. Over.
Yeah, well, I didn't bring it back because I haven't tested mine yet, but mine's online now and ready for a test. So when I get that tested, providing that it's okay now and that it's not really FMing or there's not another issue, then absolutely yours is sitting by the door so I don't forget it. Over.
Yeah, okay, very good. All righty, let's see. Yeah, not a whole lot new here. We did get the Skylink thing came in today, so maybe Judy and I are going to attempt. Judy's going to attempt to log in and get all the stuff on her phone and get the thing running tomorrow, but we may fail at that. And it's it's a lot of stuff to do on the phone and interpretation of and all the information's on a tiny phone. But that's what it takes to do it. I talked to Kenny this morning, and he walked me through it, but it's all done by the phone. And it's very nicely done, by the way. They have a beautiful unit. And and they give you instructions but it also tells you once you get the phone thing working, it tells you that where the best signals are. They probably have you go through a little routine of rotating. But from here, at least, it looks like we point the array north at about 70 degrees above the horizon, pointing north. Over.
Yeah, roger that. Sounds good. And if you guys want to hold off for a day, I'll be there Saturday, and I can get through that process without getting myself too confused, I think.
Yeah, well, I'd want to have Judy try it. I asked her if she wants to, and she wants to give it a try, but she knows you're the backup. Well, there we are. Let's see. VBG, I hear you, Dave.
Before I get there, hi.
Okay.
Roger. Good evening, Frank. Good evening, Mike.
Yeah, good evening. You still got your hum. Someday, what did you find out was causing your hum? It's not the fan in the background. You just got hum on that power supply or something.
No, it's my sound. My television sound system.
Your television sound system?
Yeah, is it gone now?
Talk a little more.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Don't talk. Just hold the mic closed. Well, it's down from what it was. What'd you do?
Turned off the television sound system.
Well, why does your television sound system make hum?
That's a really good question. Probably a problem with the feed line.
Comment? Yeah, I think that's a power supply hum, Mike. I think he's just getting the power supply hum out of the TV. And the noise you hear now is his fans that he's got going in there, I believe.
I can hear the fan, but at first it was hum.
I bet you it's gone now because I just moved the mic down.
Yeah, now you're pretty clean.
That's the way you ought to run it, Dave. It doesn't. You're not any weaker or any different, except it's clean now and it wasn't before.
It's just a matter of moving the mic down about a foot, yeah, and below the shelf.
Oh, moving it. I thought you turned it down. Okay, well, either way, it's much better. We can still detect it because you're so loud, but it's not objectionable now. The first thing out of the barrel when you first came on, it was almost covering you up.
Oh, wow, that's loud.
Anyway, good evening. Good to hear you on 432 here.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Can we pop over to 2 meters to the net frequency for 1 minute?
Sure, no problem. I'll be right there.
All right, see you there. W6BBS off the frequency for a bit.
6SRR, number 432, over.
Yeah, Frank, are you going to have him check the distortion? He's gone already. Good evening, 432. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing better there, Mike. Yeah, I think that's why Frank wants to talk to him. He's going to go check out, see if his amp's working good, over.
Well, he did a lot of RFI stoppage today with ferrite beads and stuff on a lot of the lines around the shack there. So he's probably got rid of what little RFI he had left in the amp. But he's just going to check it with Dave. If anybody would hear it, Dave would hear it, as they're so close there. Good evening to you. You sound like you're getting clearer and clearer as the days go by here.
Yeah, I'm feeling that way also, so that's a good thing there, over.
Yes, it is.
AA6S 800.
AA6S. Oh, it's AA. AA, go ahead.
AA6S 800 checking in, and that's about it. Mike is probably here too someplace. K6MYC, and good evening to you there, Rob and Mikey and Judy. I'll be sitting here listening. AA6S.
Okay, very good. Well, the first thing to do is let's see if we can get old Bozo 61 in here, and maybe we'll get Ben in here also, and 6SWR, who knows. But you can try for both of them. But good evening to you. I know you're turned this way right now because you're very loud.
Yeah, I'm pointed about due north. I'm not even at you, but I'll swing the thing around.
Okay.
Hey, good evening, Bill. WA6S, KM6SR.
Yeah, good evening, Rob. I'm turning the antenna, so I'll probably be going up and down. Over to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're still good and loud there, so I hear you even off your back there, over.
Oh, yeah, the power helps. It doesn't matter where you're pointed, actually. Yeah, I mean, I went too far here while I was talking. Anyway. N6SWR. Or KB6R2U. AA6S. Either station around, over. Don't even hear anything with extrasensory perception.
Now, I guess, Ralph calls his net up 10 on this band, I think. Anyway, maybe you can check Ralph in before you leave this evening, Bill.
He can't turn his antenna this way.
Oh, you're talking about Ralph? He can't work you anymore on 432 because he can't rotate?
I never have worked him on 432. He can't turn his antenna.
Okay, well, I didn't know he hadn't fixed that or had it fixed.
I've never worked Ralph on 432. Work him on 1296 easy, though.
I didn't get that. I got hit with a big pulse from Beal. Say it again.
I say I never have worked Ralph on 432, but working him on 1296 is very easy.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I don't know if he tries anymore. Maybe he doesn't point this way on 432 or try to even get any check-ins. I don't know.
As I recall, he cannot rotate his antenna, so he just checks the guys in LA, I guess.
Well, it's pretty bad when you're on net control and you can't rotate. That's somebody ought to go there and help him. He used to have his son would help him with his power line, his speed lines and his rotator. I don't know what's happened there.
Maybe he outlived him.
Yeah, I didn't get it again. Your comments are so short that you're not keying up, and I'm not hearing the first half word. Over.
I say maybe his son, maybe he outlived his son.
Better relay, Rob.
Okay, Bill, yeah, I was wondering about that. Hey, Mike, K6MYC, Bill saying that maybe Ralph outlived his son. Over.
Oh, outlived his son. That's what that word I couldn't get. He said it so fast it went by me, and I wasn't thinking in that vein. Over. Well, let's hope not. I think his son is still alive, but I wouldn't swear to it. I don't know Ralph's son. I've never met, I barely met Ralph. We know him from years on the air, but not very much personal contact. All right. Well, I don't know whether Rick's going to be here or not. It looks like Rick isn't going to be here, and we're not sure whether we'll ever hear from N6SWR again. Maybe he's going to cash in his chips and give ham radio away or something. I don't know.
Contact. K6BBG, W6BBS. Oh, I guess he left. Go ahead, Mike. Thanks.
What did he say about your audio?
I sounded absolutely terrible, and so I swapped yours back in. I was going to have him listen to that, and if it sounds clean, then I know there's a problem with mine.
Oh, okay. I can listen for you also after the net. I have the moon bounce array here, so I can easily listen for it too. So if you want to swap to mine, that's fine. But Dave will probably come back here. Dave, are you back yet?
Yeah, just FYI, I've already swapped to yours. And he said he was going to be there for a few minutes, so he probably just stepped out for a minute. I imagine he'll come back.
Yeah, he'll come back. Okay, well, let's see. A Tescadero doesn't ever check in on 432, so it doesn't look like we can go that way and make noise, but I don't think we'll get much. So let's go to a Tescadero. I'll make some noise briefly, and if we don't hear anything, we'll go right on up to Santa Cruz, Bill. AA6S in the group. Where's your cohort in crime here tonight? WA6AAJ. Mike, are you here?
Rob is calling you.
Rob?
Yeah, thank you, Frank. Yeah, Mike, I just wanted to say, pass on to Frank. If he wants me to go to 2 meters, I'll go to 2 meters. I don't know how good of ears I have, but I can do that for you. Over.
Yeah, okay. Pop over to 2 meters and tell me how this amp sounds, okay?
KC5, DTU 712 is here.
Well, hello, 712. I was wondering if you were going to make it, but good to hear you. Feeling okay?
Yeah, Roger, doing well. How's things up on the hill there with you and Judy?
Well, I came awful close to calling you today. Got to go over some of the things we talked about the other day, so I can be in a better condition to discuss it. I'm getting a lot of negatives on from a lot of people when I even tingle the gold standard thing. That no, it can't be done. It'll cause inflation, and we'll never be able to grow the economy if you have everything's locked to the gold standard. They can't print money and blah blah. So I don't know how to combat some of that. That doesn't make any sense, but that's been the current thinking for so long, I guess. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, for all of those naysayers out there, they better get ready. Anyhow, I'll give you a twisted pair, and we'll get to talking there.
Okay. Well, I'll be here. Of course, I'm always here. Next week, I got one day we're going to be gone because we'll be in town doing doctor's appointments. It doesn't look like lunch is going to fit unless we do it before my dental appointment, which probably isn't going to be the best way to do it. I'll think about their timing. Both the dental appointment for me and Judy are after lunch, I believe, and then I've got another appointment with my living trust lawyer after that. So it's getting covered up there. Over.
Roger. Okay, we'll play it by ear, but anyhow, I'll give you a twisted pair.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
WA688J727.
Well, there's the missing other half. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Well, we're going to have to ding you at least 5 gold stars for being late. My God, you can never be late. We were just about to turn toward the Tascadero and call, but listen, and hearing nothing, then we'll go on up to Santa Cruz, okay?
Roger. Hi, Kerry. How you doing? Doing well. Good to hear you in there. KC5, DT you. You too. Hey, I talked to Ron on, what was that, Tuesday? He said he probably wasn't going to be here tonight.
Who wasn't going to be here?
Ron.
Well, he's not normally here anyway on 432, but if he made a specific statement, I mean, I've only heard him one time on 432. Most of the time he doesn't come because he's got other things going on. Something that he does socially, I think, on Thursdays. One time he made it, but it was because the thing had been canceled or something. So I give him the courtesy of going over that way, and I thought, well, maybe one of these days one of the other guys would check in from over there. So that's why I at least stopped there just just because I can. Over.
Okay,
Info.
Roger that. I'll let Billy Ray do that.
What'd you say, Frank?
I've got some information for you. Two pieces. First of all, the amp. Your amp sounds clean. My amp, apparently it's FMing or something like we thought in the first, so I'll just pack it up and get it to Ken. And the second thing is, in case anybody asks, I did order the parts for the beacon. They should be here in a few days. Over. Yeah, okay. Well, nobody's asked, but the guys are holding on that. If we talk to Gary tonight, WB6WNI, he's the one that's most interested in listening, and he couldn't hear you on 2 meters last night either, which I said, if you can't hear him on 2 meters, he's very strong on 2 meters over here to me. That's what baffles me. I can't understand why he can't hear you on 2. Well, if you keep in mind, I was not running the amp, and it's also possible that I was only running 10 or 15, 20 watts because I had the amp on. So it's just a guess, but that's one of the things I'm gearing towards right now. I'm also got a box partway put together. I want to start getting some preamps on the hill, and as I get, I've already got 2 meters pretty well taken care of, I think. But as we go, I will, what am I trying to say? I want to get preamps, and then I don't want to be an alligator. I don't want to bring big power in. As soon as I get something on 432, I'll bring that big amp in here. So, but that was probably the problem, Mike, is I may have had something turned down. Yeah, but he's not running much power either. I think he's got 50 watts. Maybe 100, but I don't think any more than that. But the other thing is, he didn't. You have a gain antenna on your home station and the egg beater on the beacon, so they would be roughly equivalent, even with your 10 or 15 watts on the big station. Over. Oh yeah, okay, I see. I don't know. We just have to continue on and see how things go, I guess. Yeah, right. Well, he'll be in there tonight, hopefully. He has a 432 station up, and he's got a 440-18, and he's reasonably loud, but he's not running much power. I think his radio only makes 25 watts or something. Anyway, let's see. Let's go to one more check here, and N6BYH. Mike, are you here? BA6 OIB. Anybody else on 432 within the sound of my voice? K6MYC, Bozo Net 432.
Nothing heard. Okay, let's go to Atascadero briefly.
K6USY 1079. You didn't hear him.
Mirror just checked in.
I hear you. I bumped the knob when I was turning the radio, turning the rotator, and you went way high in frequency. Good evening. Are you have a co-pilot tonight?
Yep. Yeah, Bozo 1100's in the other room, so just checking in and listening to the NARC board meeting right now. So they're talking about repeater coordination and all that other fun stuff. So I'm going to go back to listening to two things at once. K6USY.
Can you read the frequency on my radio?
Yeah, you're back on.
Okay, because did I get it on 000?
Yes, sir.
That was accidental. I can't see the numbers anymore. Okay. I did it by audio sound. All right, very good. I think I'm at, where am I here? I didn't ever remove the antenna yet. Something's wrong with the, I guess I don't have 211 programmed in here. I thought I had that programmed in on this one, but maybe not. Okay. 190, 200, there's 211 right there. Atascadero, W6QUI, KN6EIV, KB6WRW, or anybody else listening on 432 on the coast, kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie, Bozo Net 432. Boy, we got to get somebody over there with something above 2 meters, don't we? All right, let's go on up to Santa Cruz.
Hey, Mike, you got Ron on 1296, and hello, Kerry, and hello, Mike, KM6SRR.
Good evening, Rob. You're sounding better there. I hope you're getting better. KC5, DTU.
Yep, I am. I feel better there. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. How about this? This should be close to Santa Cruz, maybe a little high, but close enough. And Watsonville as well. We're listing for AF6 United and KW6S. Tom, are you here? Tom's missing again for the third night in a row. Maybe AF6 United has some word on that. AF6 United on the antenna that's half high, K6MYC. You got to give me a longer call. I heard you. You were Q5, and I went in the direction that normally you get better and you got worse. So give me a long call. I'll see if I can find a peak on you. You're really weak. Over.
Mike, you doubled with him the whole way. He was talking the whole time there. So just tell him to repeat it, and I can relay.
Well, I just have to have him talk so I can get him honed in here. He must have the antenna pointed different or something.
Well, he was talking away, and you just cut him off. He talked the whole time, and I could hear him underneath you.
But you're not listening to me. He just moved the antenna last night or yesterday, or putting it up today. He put it at a different location and a different height. Not maybe a different location, but a different height. But I don't think he has it pointed right tonight because he's not coming in the direction he normally comes. When he has it in the wrong direction, I get him more to the south. So that's what I'm trying to do, is get him to talk long enough so I can hold him in here. AF6 United, go ahead.
Chatter. Just give Mike a good long chatter there. He's trying to find you with his antenna. Over.
I've got it pointed right straight in the same direction that it was before, but I'm just not sure, and I was hoping this arrangement would be a good compromise, but apparently I'm not sure if Mike is going to be able to hone in on me or not. So AF6 United, back to the net.
AF6 United, K6MYC. Yeah, you're way south of where I normally get you. I'm down at 250. So whatever you're bouncing off of is different than what you... If you're pointed correctly, then you're bouncing off of something else tonight. Because I've got you down there on a non-direct path again, Lee. Anyway, I don't think this height's a good height. I think you've got to go back to the other height where you knife edge properly. I mean, there's like 15 to 20 dB difference when you get it up higher. Over.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, I copy you now very clearly, Mike, and thank you, Frank, for the relay. And you know, it's a combination of things around here, and especially coming into the rainy season and the windy season, I was trying to get a good compromise. But I'll try to get it back up and see how things progress here as the weather patterns kind of change. Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand. You got this on a metal mast, right?
Yeah, it's just it's a Roan push-up pole. I think that it was a Roan 40, but I had to take one section off to fit in the tripod. So at the maximum extension, it's up about, I think I estimated pretty close to about 26, 27 feet. And right now, it's probably around 21 feet. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's where it's not working well. It's okay. I've got pretty good copy on you, but it's not anywhere near as strong as where it was when you had it up higher. And I'm pointing way down at 269 to 271 instead of 278, 279 where I normally get you. So it's about 10 degrees off tonight. Not to worry, we got you, and I wonder if you got any word on where Tom has been.
No, I haven't heard from Tom, but I've kind of stepped back and tried to not rattle his cage too much because I know he's been really busy. They had some major antenna issues up there on a very high tower, maybe a tower or two actually, and there were, I think, 4 different antennas that needed work, and there were 4 other antennas that needed to be moved out of the way in order for the antennas that needed work to be taken down and put back up after they were finished. So I'm sure that he's going to be toast for a little while here. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Well, we'll get along without him, and you're filling in nicely for him. Of course, not quite as strong as he normally is here because you don't have the antenna up. But otherwise, we're doing fine. Frank, go ahead and finish up since you're copying Lee in good shape. And we might see if Rob is copying Lee. Rob, are you hearing him at all?
I can hear him in there, but can't make out any words there. Over.
Okay, yeah, he's down a bit. You worked him before, though, on 432 here, didn't you, when he had the antenna up high?
Yeah, I think I may have one time there, KM6SRR.
Well, that was about a week and a half or 2 ago. 2 weeks ago, I think, when he had it at, and he was just pounding in here one night. He had it at about 25 or 26 feet or something. And W6BBS in the group K6MYC.
K6MYC in the net W6BBS. Oh, all right, Lee, AF6U, W6BBS. It's quite interesting. You're peaking in S1, sometimes not even moving it, but peaking S1, but I've heard you all the way through. And the interesting part was, of course, Mike and I get in antenna nulls on each other, so he's only about an S8 at the moment with us both facing this particular direction. But even with him at an S8 and S1, I could still hear you talking under him the whole way. So you can improve things a little bit, but you're on the right track. You got it working pretty good for what you got so far. AF6U, W6BBS, DMO7.
Did I hear WA60IB in there?
Yeah, good evening, guys, and good evening to Lee over there if he's copying WA60IB 226.
Oh, Roger, Ken, I've got you in here, WA60IB. Hey, sorry, wrong call sign. AF6 United.
Yep, got a good signal here. About an S8, S9.
Roger Roger, Roger. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're about an F2 here, but I don't have any amplifiers, and obviously the antenna is not up very high, but I've got a good solid copy on you, although I'm starting to get a little bit of fading back and forth now on the frequency. So I think this is probably about as far as I'm going to get tonight. 7-3, thanks, guys. AM6 United, back to net.
Okay. And good evening to you, Ken. Good to hear you. I guess you were. Did you get cleared today from the COVID thing?
Yeah. I've got negative test. So and we're real good, and I feel great. I really figure. I went out today and had lunch with the guys and this and that. So I'm back in society again.
Okay. Very good.
Hey, Ken.
Yes. Good evening, Frank.
Good evening. I was glad I'm here pointed the other way. Although you were in my null a little bit, I just turned it, but you're off the back corner still somewhere. Anyway, glad you're feeling better. And just a heads up, did a little test earlier, had Mikey's amp on the air, nice and clean, and put mine back on after I've done a bunch of RFs and grounding and whatnot, put my amp back on, and it just all distorted like crazy. So there is probably not bias setting or something, some kind of an issue. So when I get a chance, I'll get it sent over to the plant. No rush at all, over.
Yeah, I've got 2 amps over there right now to work on, so if you could get it over there while everything's together, that'd be really cool. Yeah, I've got a 6 and a 2 to repair right now. So okay, very good. Probably be working on them next week.
Okay, well, I'll put mine in the truck, and I'll take it to Mike Saturday, because I stay home today, and we'll get it in Matt's hand, tell him to go set it on the bench over there, okay?
That sounds good. And good evening to Rob there, too. Good to hear you. WA60IB. Thank you, Mike.
Good evening, Ken. WA6OIB, KM6SR. You're sounding good.
Well, good. I'm glad I am. I feel good.
You still with us, Mike?
Yeah, I'm with you. I was waiting for my Bluetooth to come alive here. I just removed the jack that goes into the FT DX 101, and apparently it's that jack. I've had 2 of those now go bad. And this is the second one. Now I've got both a piece of cable going in into the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth seems to be fine. I'm listening on this radio, and I get rid of that quarter-inch jack, and I'm back to the 1/8-inch jack and the adapter, and it works fine. So I got Bluetooth in both ears. So it's not the box, it's the jack. I'll have to get another one of those. I've got 2 of them. They're both bad here now. It's 1/8-inch to quarter-inch phone jack is what it is.
Yeah. I'll tell you what we're going to do, Mike, is I'm going to build you a little system there, and we're going to quit plugging and unplugging all the time. You remember the switch that we put in to switch between your amps out there in the barn? Well, I've got another switch around here somewhere like that for switching that kind of stuff, and we're just going to make it to where you push button A and you're on the 9700, button B and you're on the FT101, and never plugging and unplugging that stuff anymore. So we quit tearing anything up, and so we don't end up damaging the radios or something, over.
Yeah, I understand. It's not quite that simple, but that's okay. We have to set it up also so we can put the speaker on both. Anyway, not to worry, we'll work on it. I think Ken Holliday had a switch that did all that, and I've got it stashed somewhere, either on the table right around the other side of the wall here, or in a box full of well, they're little bud boxes. That's the word I was looking for. It's bud box, but it's got about 3 switches and phone jacks and all kinds of stuff all over it. Ken had the same problem. All righty. And again, good evening, Ken. Let's see. We are pointed towards Santa Cruz, but I'm going to go into the Bay Area now.
Good AB6BA.
AB6BA 900. Good evening, Oliver.
Yeah, hello, Mike. Just playing radio stuff today. Another warm, sunny day, but I think it's going to end in a day or two. K6MYC, KB6BA.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it was a nice warm day here over as well. By about dusk, when the sun went down, it started to get cool. I think we were down around 68 to 70 or 70. It was just, I'm still T-shirt outside, but I was starting to feel like I probably needed a little more. Anyway, but no wind and everything, so it made it very nice. Anyway, good evening to you, Oliver, and nice signal as always over here. We've got, let's see, who we got? We got Mike over there, perhaps, KB6BA. No, that's not right. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie should be in here with his 432 system. We should hear Fred, KD6SOK. How about it, Fred?
Hey, good evening, Mike. KD6SOK 507. How are you doing, Mike?
Oh, just fine, Fred. Good signal. Not your normal bodacious 507, but they may not have the antenna quite on you. Somebody else is in there with you. Hang on a second. Let's see who that was. Who was the other one?
K6KY.
Yeah, good evening, Russ. And by the way, we did finally get your plot to print. So if you want, I can mail you that a clean print of what your antenna looks like now. Over.
Roger, Roger. OKNQRZ.com or the call book. Over.
You mean your address is okay on that?
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Good everywhere.
I didn't get that. Something about everywhere?
Yeah, it's good on QRZ, Mike. That's what he was saying.
Good in all the call books and QRZ and wherever else you can find it. Over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that. Okay. Good on QRZ and everywhere is what you said. I heard it, but it didn't make sense. Sort of. Okay, anyway, good to hear you. Thanks for checking in here, 111. Let me get it back to, Fred. Let him finish up here. Fred, what's new over there? I mentioned you had a good day, and you're looking forward to the weekend. KD6SOK and the group K6MYC.
See, cold front's moving down here. That'll be interesting to see if we get any rain. We sure could use some. It's pretty dry.
I doubled with you. You doubled with me, I guess. I wasn't finished. May have paused or took a breath or something, Fred. Over.
Okay. All right. Oh, 7-3, Mike.
Well, you don't have to 7-3. I didn't hear what you said. I just asking for a repeat, if you would. Over.
No, I'm too tired to repeat, so I'll see you later. Good night.
Okay, what's making you so tired, Fred? I guess he's tired. Something more than tired there. Okay.
What's your chief before the net?
WB6JNN.
I hear Jim, WB6JNN. Good evening, Jim. Go ahead and take one, and then if you want, shoot it back up to Russ for any more comments from Russ. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay, well, we're on a plane here right now, I think. Recording a lot. And we good. Anybody give Mike a call now if you'd like to. WB6JNN.
Did you hear him in here earlier, you said?
Okay, you talked over whoever it was that responded to me. W6PQL.
Okay, hi, Jim. Hang on a second. Let me get Jim in here, 285. And he wants me to stand by for KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. KB6 WFC. Go ahead, Mike. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike in Daly City, are you still here?
I don't hear him, Jims.
No, he's not here. He was in and out. He was here a little bit earlier.
I've written him in. And let's see, up to you, Russ, and then we'll get it down to Jim PQL for his comments. But anything else, Russ, K6KLY, K6MYC.
Sorry, wrong microphone. That's it, Mike. Over to Jim, K6KLY. Okay. And one thing, one little suggestion for you, Mikey, and that's to leave about 1 second after you hear the guy turn it over to you before you pick up the mic. There's a lot of doubling going on. I think we just leave a second in there. That'll probably take care of that. K6MYC, W6PQL.
Yeah, what's going on in there that makes me wait a second before I key?
Yeah, before you key up, when somebody turns it over to you or you think there's a pause in there, just wait 1 second. If you don't, there's a lot of doubling that goes on. Over.
Yeah, but the doubling, I hear you, and sometimes I double on people. But Fred doubled on me. I hadn't let go of the mic yet, and he was talking. So that's where that doubling came from. It's going to happen from time to time when people pick it up quickly, and we do that. Everybody's trying to be quick on the net, and it's not necessarily necessary. Anyway, go ahead, Jim, W6PQL on the group, K6MYC.
Okay, yeah, understand. I played golf again today. Boring, I know, to those that don't play. But today was a good day. I managed an 81. And, yep, I hear what you're saying, Mike, but show us the way. 7-3, W6PQL.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the antenna to get up on you again. Okay, all comments noted. Wonderful on the 81. You finally keep playing. You're liable to get another birdie, and then what happens?
Yeah, I had another one today. That was nice.
Oh, another birdie today. Holy crap. Okay. No wonder. But you didn't triple bogey after it this time. You learned your lesson, didn't you?
No, it was only a single bogey.
Okay. All righty. Very good. Let's see, I had some comment for you, and I'm just trying to think what it is. It's related to amplifiers, but it just won't come up, so I'm going to have to wait. Anyway, good to hear you in here. So we got Fred. The only one I haven't heard so far that's regular is, AB6SR. Stan, are you here, AB6SR? Okay, sipping on the Merlot. How about WA6AXX? Nothing on AXX either. I wonder if he's out doing something tonight. Maybe I'll come back to the Bay Area for late checks and miss. Sometimes people are eating dinner or having a drink after dinner and then fall asleep like I do watching TV. Okay, anybody else in the Bay Area before we go up to Oakley? K6MYC Bozo Net.
Kilowatt 6 Whiskey India Sugar.
Oh, good evening, Paul. We missed you yesterday, but I imagine you didn't get home in time or something. We called a couple of 3 times, which is unusual for you not to be there on a Wednesday. And, of course, we never had any trouble copying you on that band, and you're also good here on the backscatter path tonight. And you can also comment if you have any other check-ins. I did not hear the Clear Lake fellows tonight. I haven't been there yet, actually. I haven't gone in that direction yet. I got quite a list, and I haven't even gotten to Oakley. K6 Whiskey India Sugar, K6MYC Bozo Net.
Yeah, good evening, Mike and the group. Thanks for catching my signal. You're a good 5x3 here, and I could copy Jim PQL. Good evening, Jim. You're also about a 5.3 to 5.4. So bounce back is pretty good tonight. So I won't hold you up. No relays, negative relays. Back to you, Mike. K6WIS Placerville.
Okay. Did we miss you last night, or were you just not home?
No, I didn't actually participate in the 2-meter net last night, over.
Well, that's that's why we didn't hear you. It's a good thing I didn't check you in then, isn't it? Okay, very good, Paul. Good to hear you. Always a good signal. And very solid tonight on this bounce path. Anybody else before we go to Oakley, K6MYC? There we are. N6 Radio Oakley. N6 Rodeo in the Oakley land, K6MYC.
K6MYC, N6RO, Bozo 835, high temperature 77. Dinner was lamb chops and broccoli. And more radios came in today from Flex in Austin. So we're unpacking boxes and getting ready for the worldwide contest this weekend. Go ahead.
Oh, very good. Didn't you just tell me you bought a new one right after your barbecue? You said was that a 7610?
Yeah, 7610 came in yesterday, and we're not going to put it in until after this coming contest. Just, you know, as Dave Leeson said, don't change your spark plugs on the day of the race. I think I said that last night. Anyway, yeah, 7610, and today we got a 6600M and a PGXL, which is going to replace the oldest one we have here, and we're going to renovate the old guy. Maybe send it back. Anyway, that's all I got tonight. We'll see you on Sunday and 6RO.
Hey, Ken.
Hey.
Good evening. It's Frank W6BBS. Did I hear Mike right? Your call sign is Norway 6 Romantic Okie?
Yeah, I like that.
Good evening, sir.
N6 ripoff. QRZ.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, there's all sorts of stuff. Rancho Oakley I like.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, what's a 6600?
It's an SO2R radio by Flex. We've used it here since it came out. We have 3 of them now, and it allows SO2R, real SO2R, where you can listen on one band while transmitting on the other.
Yeah, isn't that something we've had in most radios called split?
No, it's completely different.
Well, I've been able to do that for years. I can remember when I lived in San Martin, I used to work ZS6DN. He could talk on 10 megahertz. He'd talk to me on 10.125, and I would work him on 20 meters. Over.
Yeah, that's split for sure. But SO2R allows you to hear on one band while you're transmitting on the other. And it takes only Flex has that capability.
Well, that's some pretty good filtering, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's quite clever.
Yeah, okay. Very good. And then the other radio that you're, or the other thing that you're giving a new life to, what was that?
That's a PGXL SO2R amplifier that pairs up with the Flex radios to give you a high power SO2R. And we've been using those for quite a while. We got 4 of them now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the numbers. I knew they had an amplifier that they had somebody build for them or design, but I didn't know the number. Okay, good. Well, you're just getting all kind of fancy there. Fine on the dinner? I haven't had mine yet. Matt got home a little late, and Judy and I weren't hungry, so we said, the heck with it, let's wait. Rather than have a hot dog, it's better to have a cuisine meal of tilapia and probably some very nice vegetables and a salad. So that's coming, but I haven't seen it yet. 7-3, Ken, and we'll see you Sunday night, of course. Have a good weekend. I think this is a CQ Worldwide, isn't it?
Sure. I was going to say something else, but I forgot it.
Well, we doubled again. Must have breathed.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
I asked you a second question that was totally off subject from the first batch. Is the CQ worldwide today, tomorrow, this weekend?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow afternoon, worldwide sideband. We've got a crew of 8 people, which should cover all the bands.
Okay, well, good luck with that. Hopefully all the equipment. Well, you've been putting some serious effort in, not to mention a few greenbacks, to get everything tip-top. I think you've got everything working now that you can, except maybe you want to make 80 meters into a 2-element or a phased array that you can switch in 4 directions, right?
Yeah, right. That's on my to-do list. And, yeah, geez, I keep forgetting what I was going to comment on about SO2R, but I guess not. We'll try to remember it by Sunday.
Okay. Well, it's probably something related to the flex amplifiers and all. How much do they? What's in the finals? Is it LD MOS stuff?
Yeah, it's solid state. My comment was, I've been spending a lot of money on toys. I can't take it with me.
Well, that's for sure. Well, some guys try, but you know, the guy that dies with the most toys wins anyway.
Well, I'm hoping all my toys go to the right person.
Yes, let's hope so. We need a few more big contest stations. I was talking to somebody on 40 the other night, or in the daytime or something, and we were talking about, I know who it was. It was N5IT, Dave, down there in Texas. And he was asking me about the market or something. And I said, well, the market's small because the rat hole money has disappeared buying beans for the family in many cases, and so guys just don't have the money. But, and of course, I said the big contest stations, what was it, W0AIH had a huge station, and quite a few others around the country. I think all those guys are getting old and passing away or retiring and getting out of it. You've got one of the few that I know of that's still hanging in there with a very, very big and effective station with a good record over.
Roger. And speaking of AIH, he visited one time, and the first thing he did was climb up one of my towers.
And didn't fall off this time, huh?
No. He was belted on and all that stuff, but unfortunate to lose him.
Yeah, that was a shame. He had it was a tower accident. He fell off, didn't he?
Yeah, because of a bad rope.
Oh, boy. Well, I guess, who knows? That is a shame, because he was certainly world-renowned as a big gun contester and all. Okay, Ken, we'll let you go. Anybody else want to say, Ken, you want to say hi to Ken?
TV.
Ken Holden, you here, WA60YB?
See you all on Sunday.
Oh, okay, 73s. I guess Ken has gone back in the shack. Maybe he came in and checked in, and then he got the dinner call or something. Or I talked too long.
You?
We had the break. I heard another voice. Maybe it was in your background. Do you have another voice in the background, Ken?
No, I said, was that... What was your last comment?
Mike said he can sometimes talk too much, KM6SR.
In the back there, Ken?
No, it's my television.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. I heard the same thing. Yeah, that's what it was, Mike.
Yeah, I heard it. It was a woman's voice, and I thought, wow. This morning I was on with Phil, WB6GGY, and his wife said something. We were talking a little bit of politics, and I said something, and she let out a big yell. I can't remember what triggered it, but I heard it, and I thought it was Judy, and I turned around and looked for Judy, and Judy wasn't even in the room, so it was Barbara, Phil's wife, that was yelling. She listens a lot to his conversations in the background, and she's funny. Good head. All right, 7-3, Ken. We'll see you on Sunday night if you can make it to the mic.
try. Yeah, my background noise, my mute button was not responding.
Yeah, okay.
Bye.
Bye. Clear Lake. I'm up toward Clear Lake. Is there anybody in Clear Lake on 432 these days? K6MYC Bozo Net. Clear Lake. Clear Lake. Clear Lake didn't check in with anybody tonight. I don't know whether Dennis is here. I haven't heard Dennis now for a week or so. He's been coming on at 7 o'clock and getting a lot of check-ins, but he doesn't stick around for the real net. Okay, nobody in Clear Lake responding. I'm going to go to Sacramento then. The heck with you guys. There's Sacramento. KJ6KFB, over.
KJ6KFB,
756, KJ6KFB with a smashing 20 watts. Sounds pretty good, over.
Hey, it does what it does, and that's all we got to give. How's it going, Mike?
Well, we're doing pretty well here. We got lots of check-ins on 432 tonight, which is unusual. I think we're pushing toward 20 already. So good to hear you, Darren. And pretty nice signal. I haven't even peeked on you. I just went over that way and stopped. So maybe I hit the nose on the head this time.
Oh, well, there you go. It seems like it's getting up there. PayPal's giving me a little bit of challenge, but on this side. But we can get enough over it.
Yeah, I'm getting popped every now and then with one big one, but the little ones don't bother you guys. But two or three of them a little while back hit me real hard. I lost 3 or 4 words. It hit the receiver so hard, it knocked the AGC for a loop. Anyway, good evening to you, and thanks for being there on a regular basis, Darren. KJ6 Kilo Foxtrot Bravo, K6MYC. We were looking for signing with you and looking for KO6KD.
KO6. Hang on. There we go. KO6KD number 776. Checking in. Over.
And we got the antenna more up on you. KO6KD. I'm still not quite there, but close. Good to hear you, Bill. It was good to have this morning. You guys carried the ball. I carried the water this morning. I wasn't much of a participant this morning. I'm going to work on that for tomorrow. Got to call in to Kerry so I can get myself tuned up on a few more things and have some counter discussion with you and Bob there. Anyway, good evening, KO6KD, K6MYC.
Yeah, good evening, Mike. And I was late this morning, and yeah, I'll try to. I mean, I was up early. I was after my 2.5 hours of sleep, and then I said, well, I'm going to go try to get another hour or so because I had a good hour before the net, and then I overslept that. So I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I'll try to be more on time, and you guys maybe have a nice lively discussion in the morning. So anyway, we'll catch you then. 7-3 for now, and John's out here waiting in the wings, and good evening to everybody on the net, KO6KD.
Yeah, and nice signals here on 432. Was there something that we were going to discuss here? If you said we could cover if we had good conditions, or was it just a passing comment? Over.
The thing I wanted to try would be between the two, and we did. I think we did it, and I think everything's fine. Between the 7700 and the 7610 on 6 meters, because all the while the 7700 was non-functioning, I was trying different radios. I tried 3 different radios, and 2 different radios, and eventually gave up, and then went out and bought the 7610, and continued to have problems where you just simply could not hear me. And I believe I found the magic secret. And so I think that problem has been alleviated. Everything's working fine. But now with the return of the 7700 and knock on wood, it's transmitting fine. I hopefully will not have that issue anymore. Over.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was something on another subject matter, but it doesn't matter. I know that you were concerned about that, but the last time you were on 6, you were fine, and we couldn't hear any noticeable difference between the two radios. But when you have them both working right, they sure have strong audio. Your audio is noticeably more punchy and louder, actually, just coming out of the speaker louder than Phil. And Phil's got good audio. He's got good, powerful audio, but you're even more raucous. Over.
Well, maybe I'm too loud. If that's the case, maybe I should turn things down. I don't know, but I don't want to be boisterous or overdoing it. But anyway, we'll work on that later. That's over on the other radios. But this is the way this one's been for quite some time, and we'll just let it keep going the way it is. And so, all right, enough said. I'll say 7-3 to you. Have a good evening, and we'll look for you in the morning. And good evening to everybody else on the net. KO6KD.
Yeah, what radio are you on now?
I'm on the 9700.
7700.
Negative 9700. 9700. 7700 is the HF radio.
Yeah, I know it is.
Right.
Okay, I got it. I just, when you said the 9709 didn't come through, got hit with a Beale Air Force Base pulse there. Over.
I have to leave my AGC on fast and use noise blanking to get rid of the Beale Air Base popping.
Well, I don't hear the pop. It just shuts my AGC down like it just did again.
That's why you leave it on fast. You have to leave it on fast, otherwise it'll pop and then you'll lose a word.
I know, but it's really hard on my ears to listen to fast. Too much pumping, particularly in the Bluetooth. It's just me. It's just the old tired ears don't have the resilience that they used to. Anyway, we got it. Everything's covered, and we'll move on and get John in here. John, let me see if we can copy you tonight. That's a given. I'm trying to see. I think I've got the. Oops, a little too high. Let's try that, John. That should be awful close. KR6MR in Meadow Vista, K6MYC.
Yeah, good evening, Mike and the group. KR6MR, Bozo 759. I'll give you a little extra chatter so you can peek on me. So you and Judy, I guess, are doing okay. Let's see. Haven't been anything up here. Everything is quiet, and I'm happy. Over.
Well, I got off of you, and then I didn't get back on before you stopped, so I think I went back to where I should be. Okay. Would you do me a favor, because I can't place Meadow Vista in my brain reference to where Sacramento is. Are you north and east or north and west, or where are you referenced to Sacramento?
Mostly east. Okay, if you leave Sacramento and go on Highway 80, you go through Roseville, you come up to Auburn. I'm about 6 miles east of Auburn. Over.
QSL. Okay, now I know where it is, and that's why I have to point up that way a little further. I always have to go east of Sacramento for you, and I just couldn't place it. You must be close enough in the foothills that you and I have a little blockage.
Yeah, we should be on the same bearing as Reading.
Yeah, it's pretty close. You're within 1 or 2 degrees.
Yeah, okay, well, you're starting to see that a little bit there, Mike. Yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff I've got to get done before the next coverage. Thursday, well, I guess it'll be Sunday night that I'll get a hold of you again. K6MYC in the group, KR6MR. Have a good evening, Mike.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Sunday night we'll see you, and good luck. I don't know if you're going to participate in the CQ Worldwide phone SSB phone DX contest this weekend, but that's always fun if you can spend some time at it. It gets pretty wild at times on certain bands, and the band conditions have been good, so it might be fun. Anyway, 7-3, John, and we'll see you on Sunday night, no doubt. AR6MR, K6MYC, standing by for anybody else in this direction that's copying before we go to Nevada. QRZ.
Kilo 6, Whiskey India Sugar, yeah?
Yeah, very loud now, Paul.
Roger, Mike. Yeah, you're peaking 5 by 9, so we got good signals on the direct path. As soon as you swung your antenna further to the east to get a hold of John, your signal popped up from like an S2 to almost an S9, over.
Yeah, well, this pattern is pretty tight. This is not a good net antenna, but it does work because it's got lots of gain. But I really should have them stacked one over the other. I should put this array back into a 2x2 moon bounce array and put the EME 12s up on this mast, and that would give me a lot of azimuth beam width and a little bit less gain, but not much. But it would be a vertical stack of signal antennas, and that wouldn't be so damn sharp. But this one is sharp. I moved it another 2 degrees for you, and you came up another noticeable amount on audio strength. So great signal on this path tonight. That's unusual, isn't it?
Yes, less QSB fading, which is a welcome relief. Hardly much QSB. Anyway, won't hold it. And just want to say good evening to John there. I copied you 5 by 9 at KO6MR. And Bill, KO6KD is 5 by 7 here into the foothills. 73 is all. I'm going to be going QRT shortly. K6WIS.
I wonder what's happened. I wonder what's happened to Dennis. Dennis was in here and he was collecting the check-ins early for the guys that wanted to check in early, and I haven't been able to get apparently timely enough to be. I get the Clear Lake guys about once a month. And we've had good conditions, but it's very much up and down for that path. It's never steady. And of course, you do the same thing. But I don't know if the guys are even on. I know they gave up on 222. They all sold their equipment or just gave up on 222, which is a shame. And I don't know whether they did the same on 12. I think they did the same on 1296, gave up there. But I think they have 2 and 432 still. And you have checked them in the past, I believe, and so has Dennis, haven't we?
They operate on 432, both Dave and Kent, and also 222 on 1.25 meters, but 1296 they do not operate on, over.
Okay, so they still have 222, okay. Well, I'll make a more strong point of calling for them on 222 and make sure I give them enough time to get in there. You might remind them to look for us. When I'm pointed toward Oakley and working in 6RO, if they can hear me coming around or if they watch the stream, they'll know when I'm going to be close to their direction. But I'd like to get them in here more often, particularly on the more difficult bands. 222 would be one. I can always catch them. If I work long enough and hard enough on 2 meters, they're usually lurking around there. But the other bands, they don't stick around long on. Anyway, I guess we didn't catch them on 432 tonight either, and they weren't in there for you. Do you have any idea why Dennis has been so quiet and so early?
I have not heard Dennis on tonight on the 432 band. And on 222s, I regularly QSO with the Clear Lake folks just after 7 p.m. And then I relay their check-ins to you when you're pointed towards the Bay Area, over.
Yes, okay. Well, if we could just keep them a little bit longer or have them look for me, because I come out of the Bay Area and I go right to Oakley, and that's within a few degrees of pointing at them, so maybe we can get them to stay long enough to catch them there. Anyway, thanks, Paul. Good to hear you. Good evening, and I'll take a standby and see if there's anybody left on this frequency before we go to Nevada. Then I'll go back to the Bay Area for late checks and missed. We missed quite a few of the regulars on 432 this evening. And then we'll go get some dinner. K6 Whiskey into Sugar, Placerville area, K6 MYC.
Okay, Roger, Mike. Yes, I'll be clear of the frequencies at QRT. This is K6WIS in Pleasant Valley near Placerville.
7-3. Anybody else in this direction toward Sacramento, Placerville area? K6 MYC, Bozo Net, 432. Okay, nothing heard. So I'm going to go up to Carson City and Gardnerville. Let's see if we get Larry in here this evening, and we can try with KD6BQ first with his smashing 8 watts. KD6BQ, KD6 Bravo Queen. How about it, Richard? K6 MYC. Roger. Got your 249, Richard. Good evening. Solid copy on CW, but not very strong. It's about 5 and 1 on CW. So probably a little light for sideband copy, but maybe it'll get better. And I'll go over and get Daniel and maybe Larry, and then we'll come back and see if we can finish up with some sideband. Okay, how about Larry, N7 Whiskey Tango? Your 432 system, I think, works, Larry. You ought to check in here. K6 MYC. No Larry. Okay, sorry about Larry. Hope he's feeling okay. Maybe he's just lost interest in VHF bands. Resting up from 6-meter activity, I guess. All right, KE7UQL, and then we're going to try for Stan over there in Fallon also. KE7UQL, Gardner, not Gardnerville, but I forgot the name of the other place, for heaven's sakes. Okay, I doubled with you. Picked it up before I was finished. KE7UQL. Try it again, Daniel, over. KE7UQL. Go ahead. Go ahead. Maybe Daniel doesn't have the, I thought he had the 432 back up on the roof. Let's try for Fallon, Nevada then. K7SUN, K7 Sugar Uniform November, K7SUN, K7 Sugar Uniform November, K6 MYC, calling and standing by. Over, Stan. I think I'm hearing a little bit of sideband in there, but I can't dig it out. QRZ, KE7UQL or K7SUN. Give me a call, Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie and the Bozo Net. Over. Okay, I'm going back to you, Richard, and see if you can tell me. Do you hear anything from Daniel or Stan, K7SUN or KE7UQL? Any copy on those guys, Richard? Over. Roger, no. Okay. Well, I'll be darned. I guess they're missing tonight. It's unusual. Maybe, I don't think I'm that late, am I? It's 8:30 or 8:45. That's not too bad. I'm dragging my feet a little bit here. All right, Richard, 73. Have a good weekend. Maybe enjoy the CQ Worldwide contest this weekend, and we'll see you Sunday. We'll see you Sunday night, Richard. KD6BQ, I should say. KD6BQ 73 K6MYC. 473, dit. Okay, back down to the Bay Area here. And while I'm rotating, I'll call again. QRZ, anybody copy us here for the Bozo Net check-ins? Over. QRZ, the Bay Area, AB6SR. AB6SR or WA6AXX, K6MYC, calling and listening. AB6SR, AB6 Sugar Radio, WA6AXX, K6MYC, calling and standing by. The antenna in the wrong direction. Let's try again. AB6SR, AB6 Sugar Radio, or anybody else. QRZ, the Bay Area. Late checks are missed. AB6SR, WA6AXX, or anybody else. Kilowatt 6 Mike Yankee Charlie calling and listening.
Good evening, Mike. This is WB6WNI. Just finishing dinner, 1090. How copy?
We copy it pretty well, Gary. WB6WNI, K6MYC, about the same as normal. Not bodacious, but your Q5, good to hear you. Thanks for coming in. We called you earlier, or looked for the Bay Area for quite a while, but did not hear you. So we we didn't catch you on the first round, but we got to thank you for sticking around and being here late. We also missed Ed, WA6AXX, and we missed Stan, AB6SR. I thought maybe he would have woken up from his Merlot, glass of Merlot that he always has after dinner, but no Stan tonight here on 432. Back to you, and the beacon will be probably functional maybe midweek. Parts are ordered, and Frank expects to see them Monday or Tuesday of next week, and that'll put the beacon back on the air. And hopefully you'll start to hear 432 and 12, and then you can check for 2 meters. WB6WNI, K6MYC in the net.
Very good, Mike. K6MYC, WB6WNI. I'm going to keep it a little shorter because there is fade and I'm running way less power than you are, but fine on the beacon. And yes, you know what? I've heard very few people tonight. We were having dinner when it first started. We are just finishing up. That's how long it's taken, but we just stuck around here. But admittedly, I've heard very few people tonight. You know, you never know what's going on, do you? It's just very interesting. But anyway, I'll look forward to the beacon, and thanks for coming back to the Bay Area. K6MYC, WB6WNI.
Well, when I don't get a very good turnout from the Bay Area, I come back, and sometimes Stan is there, and sometimes, in this case, you were. We did have 4 people. I think KB6BA was in, WB6JNN, W6PQL, K6KLY, and KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie, all in the Bay Area checked in. So five stations, but we missed Stan and we missed Ed. Ed was in here last night. Normally he's here, and he normally tells me if he's not going to make the next night, but he didn't say anything last night that I can recall that he wasn't going to be here. So that's the story. Anyway, you got the update on the beacon anyway. Won't keep it. I'll get out of here. I haven't had dinner yet, so I'm anxious to walk through the hallway here and turn into the kitchen and see what we can reheat for dinner. Hi. 73's Gary, and thanks for being there. WB6WNI, Campbell, San Jose border, K6MYC.
Good evening, Mike, and have a nice dinner. Now, we're just finishing up, so now, yes, your turn, Mike. K6MYC, WB6WNI, 73.
Yeah, 73, no problem, solid copy. Haven't seen any fading. Your station must be far enough to the hills and the right knife edge. We don't get very much fading. We don't get multipath on you. I don't know why, but very little multipath and very little fading, where a lot of the other Bay Area stations get all fluttery and funny. Stan doesn't have much fading either. AB6SR. Some of the guys have very serious fading, and others don't. It's a funny thing, but it must be all related to the hills that we have to get through. 73, good evening. Have a good weekend, Gary. Enjoy it. If you don't know already, that's a CQ Worldwide phone contest this weekend, so if you want to get on and have some fun, work some rare countries, now's the time to do it. This is a big weekend for DX and phone DX on all bands in the HF category. 73, my friend, WB6WNI, K6MYC, clear and standing by for any others.
Mike, I just interject for a moment. I will look into that contest, and thanks for the info. WB6WNI, 73.
I think it starts at GMT hours Friday. Starts Friday evening, probably about 4 or 5 in the evening, something like that. So that's the time to catch the beginning of it. 73 Gary, K6MYC.
73.
Anybody else before we go closing the net here? K6MYC, Bozo Net, Central California, Delta Mike 07. Oh boy, I thought I heard somebody way down in there. Any relays from anybody? K6MYC. Okay, nothing heard. Good evening, Frank, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Maybe you can join us for a few minutes on the 40-meter net in the morning. W6BBS, and then over to Rob, KM6SR, K6MYC.
Yeah, I'll try to do that, Mike. I'm just waiting for a stinky truck to drive up my driveway tomorrow, amongst other things. But, yeah, I'll try to make that. Good night to you. Thank you for doing the net. Good night to Judy if she happens to be around, and even if she isn't. And good night to you too, Rob and Aaron and everybody else. W6BBS, over to you, Rob.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Good night to you, W6BBS, KM6SR. Mike, let's see, I got 25. How you doing? I'm pointing back down to Rick again. I guess I'll give him a shout out. KB6RQU. You're on tonight, Rick, for the 432 Bozo Net. KB6RQU.
I think I got 25. I mushed my numbers. I wrote them pretty close together at the end, and I can't be sure, but it's 24, 25, or 26, somewhere in there.
Okay, I got 25, so that sounds good. We'll say 73 is Mike, K6MYC, KM6SR, 73.
Okay, Rob. You're getting as bad as me with the call signs. You get 16 of them in your head, and keeps coming out half of one and half of the other. Boy, oh boy. You get rummy at this after a while. And then we tend to double occasionally with people. People are anxious to get in and make comments, and of course sometimes I let go of the mic quite frequently, even during a long transmission. And so if there's somebody talking, I find out that they're talking underneath me, and that's what happened to Fred tonight. I don't know whether he got pissed off because of that or he was just in a bad mood. But boy, he was in and out quickly tonight. He didn't even want to talk. He didn't want to answer the question. Didn't want to do anything. Just said, "Subject, I'll walk by." That's not Fred normally, so I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. He must have had a bad day.
Yeah, I've heard him like that before. So yeah, everybody has a good or bad day. I try to get in real quick because you're always talking. So whenever I hear a pause, that's my only chance. Over.
Yep. No, and that's what you have to do. mind. I probably am a little quick on a switch when people turn it back to me, but that's just habit from HF. A lot of years on HF, and you tend to pick it up quickly. Sometimes I don't, and then you get a lot of breakers, and you hear the breakers. And sometimes I don't want a lot of breakers. I'm trying to finish a thought or a conversation. That's what happened the other night. I got on 40 meters at 9:30, and the next thing I know, it was midnight. And I talked to one guy for an hour, a friend of mine down there in Texas. We had a great chat, and didn't realize it, but we had lived in El Cajon, California, and several places that we'd been at one time or another. So we had so much more in common than I thought. Anyway, when I finished with him, I said, I got to get off to bed and get out of here. And he said the same thing. And then we had about 15 overs, of course, getting out of there. And then lo and behold, another guy broke in from Canada. And he said, I'll just hold you a minute, Mike. I got a suggestion for you. Well, a half an hour later, I finished with him, and then I had 16 callers after that. I took one more, and I said, that's it, guys. I got to go to bed. And I went into bed, and Judy was sound asleep. Over.
Yep. Sometimes you can be powerful. You got a good station, so that's what you got to expect, I guess. There, over.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. But I was looking for some Africans, but we didn't hear any Africans. I was beaming east the whole time, and we had I had a first guy was in from Arizona, turned down that way, and then I left that antenna down that way, and then N5IT in Texas broke in. I went on the east antenna thinking that we could squeak, because he runs power, and the Africans can hear him as well. So we've done this before. So I thought, well, we will drag through here and drag our feet, but no Africans. So I don't know what they're doing. They may have just given up on us, guys. And of course, there's economic strife in South Africa, even though you don't hear much about it. The hams are being pushed around, and equipment is dying, and it's hard to get repairs, and it's costly to get stuff in and out of there, and only a few of the richer hams can afford the shipping rates and all the rest of that. So it's pretty much made everybody run 100 watts in a wire from a leftover transceiver that's 100 years old. Over.
Oh, that's too bad, because I know there's a lot of those guys are on the air and everything, so oh well.
Well, they were a lot of them on the air. One of my friends I haven't heard now for 6 months, ZS3Y, Andre, not Andre. Oh, I'll think of his name in a minute. It's been so long since I worked him, I forgot his name. Anyway, I've made hundreds of contacts with the guy over the years, and he's just kind of disappeared off of 40. He's got a good setup, but he can make a good signal. He runs a kilowatt, and he's out in the boonies, so he doesn't have terrible noise and stuff. But he hasn't been in. Of course, I didn't get on much over the summer because of the static crashes were bad. And of course, they haven't gone away yet because we really haven't gotten rid of the thunderstorms and stuff on the east with the hurricanes, and we haven't had any rain here either to quiet things down and get the power lines quiet and all the rest of that. Anyway, I just haven't. Every time I turned the radio on here, I was looking at S9 static crashes, and that's no fun. So I thought, the heck with it, I'm not going to fight that. But I looked at it the other night, and static crashes were peaking S7 and sometimes dropping back to where there was almost no meter movement. And so I said, hey, this is a good night. Might have been a good night. It might have been a poor night for propagation. That's why we weren't hearing anything. But I'm pretty sure if anybody decent-sized in Africa had been in there, I would have been able to work them. But almost all the guys have quit. Even the guys that we talked to on the long path have given up. They're not interested in arguing politics with us anymore. They think we're toast. They think we're done and we're over. And we'll never recover. And I don't like that kind of talk. I don't believe it. And I don't think they understand what we're made of over here, Rob. Over.
Yeah, that's true, but this is a pretty important election, so I hope it goes the right way there. Over.
Yeah, well, I think it's heading that way now. It's more and more of that. It looks more and more better every day. and we're getting a lot of good feedback on things that are planned. And the stuff that I'm hearing is the plans go out at least a year, and they're in the right direction, and a lot of major financial changes, which will make a lot of difference, along with maybe even getting rid of the income tax system. And that's been bandied about by quite a few people. They've talked about it for years, but I think they might be able to pull this off. Trump's got some very powerful economic people around him. They're not big names, but boy, they must know what they're doing, because they've got this thing pretty well thought out. That's what we've been discussing with Kerry on the phone. It isn't ham radio talk, because it's pretty, well, I don't know if you'd call it controversial, but a lot of guys just haven't heard any of this stuff. And they poo-poo it because, well, Kerry is very steadfast in saying, sit back, relax, it's all good. Get your popcorn and relax and watch the show. Over.
Yeah, I heard him talking the other night, or you guys talking about that. So, yep, I got my popcorn the other day, so I just need the rest of it. I'll be feeling much better a couple days after the election. Over.
Yeah, if they're ever through counting, there's about 3 states that now are claiming that they're not going to be done for 10 or 12 days. Arizona, Georgia, and one other. But those are key states, and if they can't, if the balance of if the electoral college count hasn't been quite enough, and the election is depending on any one of those 3 for a decision, then it can hang us up for a couple of weeks here, which is bad, because that's when they start to change votes and stuff. I can't imagine, and we're hearing about some of the stuff, and we're actually getting personal recounts of people that have been involved or been a part of some of the cheating that's gone on in the last 10 years. There's a company called NGOs. You know what an NGO is, Rob?
No, I haven't heard of that, but I heard the other state that just came out the other day saying they're going to take a while. It's Pennsylvania, which is a key state. Over.
Yeah, that's clearly a key state. An NGO is a non-government organization. And what we found was one NGO, it's a company that can do things for the government, but outside of the rules that the government is bound by. So the government hires the NGO, and the NGO could do things quietly behind the scenes that the government can't pull off legally inside the Constitution. So that's what an NGO is. Well, this NGO had something like 8,000 or 11,000 voting records, all at their address, their home address. Over.
Yeah, that sounds like a liberal play plan. Over.
Well, that's a lot of votes. That's the kind of stuff that can swing elections. So all one address. They're all phony. Maybe one legitimate, and then they just run different names through it. When I don't know just how it's done, but they could vote. They had the control of about 8,000 or more votes under one address, and that's bogus. All right, that's the kind of stuff that we're hearing about, and it's legitimate and it's proven, and it's going to court because of it, et cetera. So, but you don't hear about a lot of the court cases and a lot of people that are going down. Did you hear about the president of Abercrombie Fitch?
No, I didn't hear about that, but I listen to Mark every evening usually, and he's saying for all the conservatives to get out there and vote early. I guess what he's trying to do is, if we get a big enough lead, then the Democrats won't even try to be cheating, because it'll be hopeless for them. Over.
Well, they'll never stop cheating. I don't think that's in the cards, but they'll get enough that they too big to rig. In other words, you've heard that comment on there. Get it so many people that they can't rig it, they can't fix it, can't change it. So yeah, Levin's a great spokesman, and he's on target, and he's so factual. You can fact check him till hell freezes over, and you'll seldom find anything other than a mistake or something, but not an on-purpose lie by any means. He's great. No, we're watching his podcasts and talking to Kerry and listening to a lot of stuff and a lot of different podcasts from several different sources, and they're cross-correlating and quite frequently, at least once a day, we get a correlate. That guy over here is saying the same thing as this guy over here about this very critical piece of information. Not loose-end stuff, not what everybody's saying about Kamala without having enough skills to do anything, but real decent pieces of information that are very serious stuff, and you get a cross-correlation. It's not a bogus piece of information. It's been double proven and checked, and it's stuff that is going to court but being very quietly done, either on purpose or because it's being covered up. And all the normal media is pretty much all controlled by the CIA, as you probably have figured out. Enough of that crap. Let's get out of here. I'll go get some dinner, and you can go do whatever. Have some ice cream and a cookie. Yeah. Are they letting you have cookies now that you're getting well again? KM6SRR, K6MYC.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that. No, I haven't had any cookies. So the wife's been gone for a week or so, and I guess she's got another week or so to go. So when I wasn't feeling good, I stayed off of the sugary stuff because I didn't want to give the bad germs any stuff to grow better on. So anyway, yeah, I did have a little chocolate-covered almond tonight, so it's the first stuff I've had. Anyway, K6MYC, KM6SR. I'll let you get your dinner.
Okay, and I'm sure Aaron's just choking up listening to all this. Go ahead, Aaron. Well, the stream is still up. He must be in the background somewhere. I'm pretty sure the kids are in bed by now, aren't they, Aaron?
I think he has one he maybe puts down around this time, so he might be doing that. Over.
Okay, well, if he's back in here, I'm going to go in the other room. I'll leave things running here, but I'm going to go in the other room, and I'll listen on Bluetooth just to some very light, quiet noise here. Good night, Rob.
Good night, Mike. KM6SR going that way.